Hi everyone, welcome back to the Gen Talk podcast where we talk about issues and topics from two different generations. My name is Tanwin and I'm a borderline Gen X and millennial. And my co-host is my son Ruben, who is a Gen Zer. And today we have a special guest, my daughter Amy, who is a Gen Alpha. So Generation Alpha is anyone who's born after 2010. What year were you born, Amy?
2013.
2013, so she is definitely a Gen Alpha. So in this podcast, we cover topics from multiple generations perspective. Today we have three generations represented here, the Millennial, Gen Z, and Generation Alpha. In the last episode, we talked about somewhat controversial topic, which is tattoos. But today, I think we'll talk about something lighter. Seeing that Amy is here. So let's talk about movies. Let's talk about the movies, how movies define each generation and how each generation is signified by the movies that they represent. So to get things started, Ruben, why don't we start with you? What are the significant movies that you have watched so far?
Probably like the most impactful movies are definitely from Disney.
Okay.
From Pixar.
Give me examples.
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3.
I remember when I was like maybe 7 or 8, I'd watched the movie about 60 times.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yep.
Yeah, I was reenacting scenes. I got all the toys. I never really thought about the Toy Story franchise in a way. I just thought that was cool.
Okay.
But coming from now, I can really see that Toy Story 3 is really the perfect ending for Toy Story. And then they ruined it with Toy Story 4 and I didn't like that.
You didn't like Toy Story 4?
No.
You think it was unnecessary?
No, they should just stay the same.
Yeah, I agree. But I think Toy Story 4 in its own right
it's just a comedic relief. They're just a money grab.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that's good. Amy, what about you? Is there any movies that impacted your life, your short life so far?
I don't really have a movie that I really like, but because I have a lot of movies that I like, but
Okay. Give me a couple of examples.
Miraculous.
Miraculous. Okay.
And
Anything else?
not really.
Not really.
No.
What about Encanto? We watched Encanto last week.
Yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. Okay, well, back to you, Ruben. Mike. Okay, so you mentioned Toy Story 3,
Yes.
which is an epic thing, and I think I agree with Disney and Pixar. They are a master storyteller, and they go beyond. They go beyond, the kids' age range. Adults cry in Pixar movies. Any other movies that was mentioned?
In Disney? Or just anywhere?
Anyway.
For like just any Pixar movie.
Any Pixar movie?
Any, like Monsters Inc.
Well, okay, Monsters Inc.
That impacted me, man.
All right, what did you like about it?
I just thought it was funny because Mike Wazowski is my favorite character.
Okay.
He's just funny.
Cool. Good.
And same thing. Like when I grew older,
Yeah.
I watched it again. Maybe probably 2 months ago. I really, the big picture because I didn't see that when I was a kid because I didn't know the meaning. But now I do, and then now I realize how good Pixar is at touching different generations, and like in Up.
Right, yeah.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Because they're just this big bird or whatever, and they're on this hunt. But then the first scene, I feel like a lot of people were impacted. Like the theme of elderly growing older,
the
losing
loss,
a
the
lover.
grief.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I think the beauty of Disney or Pixar movie is there's so many layers, and they touch different things in different generations, like you mentioned. I think that's really great. Well, that's the thing. To me, when we look at a generation, I believe arts, by looking at the arts, is where it's at. If you want to see what a generation values, we look at their arts. If you want to know what is important to a generation, listen to their music. And if you want to see the struggles of a generation, I think watch their movies, read their books, see what they're facing. And to me, that's why I believe art is both a window and a mirror to a generation. So if you want to understand the different generations, like we are in this podcast, and I think movies play a big part in telling us, telling the arts of each generation. You mentioned about the Toy Story. Amy, from your perspective, because you were born practically with a smartphone in your hand. What I mean is, by the time I had you, I already had an iPhone 5S. 5S, that's right. When you were born, a long time ago. When Ruben was born, I didn't have a smartphone until maybe when Ruben 1 or 2. So he wasn't born with a smartphone in his hand. Do you like to watch movies, Amy?
Not really.
Not really? Why?
Because they're too long.
They're too long. Okay, that's interesting. But when you go to the movies in the cinemas, you think like, you're spending 2 hours in the cinema is a bit too long?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you watch then?
I watch videos on YouTube or watch like a TV show.
Okay. All right. Let's go to YouTube because I didn't grow up with YouTube. I hardly watch YouTube. I only watch YouTube for basketball highlights and some video game news. So I don't really get my entertainment input from YouTube. What do you like about YouTube?
There's a lot of videos and you can search up like anything.
Yep.
There's like videos about that topic you just typed in.
Okay. So what do you watch in YouTube? What do you normally watch?
Like some Roblox.
Roblox.
Yes.
Okay. Roblox movies. Okay. And the TV shows. What TV shows do you watch?
I watch Miraculous Ladybug and Little Lunch.
Little Lunch? Oh, okay. That's funny title. But Ruben, do you still like going to the cinemas?
Oh yeah, I like from No Way Home. That's the most recent one I watched. I haven't gone to the cinema since I think maybe Endgame. Honestly, maybe I think
no, it was a long time ago.
it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Huh. Anyway, so you still going to the cinema as a thing?
Yeah.
Especially big
it's
blockbuster movies.
Yeah,
like,
it's a fun experience.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, in our household, I tried to get you guys to watch movies that I grew up with. Remember, Ruben especially, remember what they are? The movies that I tried to force you to watch.
Yeah. Star Wars,
Lord
obviously.
Lord of the Rings. What else?
Jurassic Park.
Park is not successful yet.
I've watched Jurassic Park.
Yeah. What else?
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Alien. Ghostbusters.
For those, For those listening at home, no, we did not watch Aliens all the way up to the end.
It was too boring.
It was too boring because
the
alien hasn't come out yet. Anyway,
I don't care what they ate for lunch. I want to see the alien.
That's why we were thinking of skipping to Aliens, which is Alien 2, but it gets too scary at some point.
No, just Mom.
Mom got too scared, so we ditched that idea. Do you remember, Amy, the old movies? Do you like the old movies?
I don't know.
No? You don't know?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
Well, there's a few reasons why I forced you to watch those movies, the movies that I grew up with. But one of the reasons is because a lot of new movies are just nostalgic. They're just either reboots of the old movies or sequels. So, I love how, love is probably a strong word. I like how Disney brought out the new Star Wars, right? The new episode 7 and 8 and 9 to the new generation, to you, the BB-8. It's so cute, the BB-8 is so cute. But you really need to watch Star Wars, the original trilogy, to understand 7, 8, 9. That's what I mean.
That's the same thing with Marvel as well.
Yeah.
Imagine, if you're getting into it now, it's going to be pretty hard to understand everything.
So you
You
need
know.
to rewatch all
Yeah,
the
with the
old
multiverse
phase.
and everything.
Yeah. I think so. That's one of the reasons, because I think this is the problem with the new generation of movies. They're just reboots or just basically driving based on nostalgia, because the way I see it is people who make these kind of movies grew up with these movies. So people in my generation, they're the ones who's making these movies, right? It's like, oh yeah, I want to make Star Wars because I grew up with Star Wars, and they have these certain ideas, and like J.J. Abrams in The Force Awakens is basically a rewriting or a retelling of Episode 4, A New Hope, with a new Death Star. Oh, come on, man, how many Death Star you need? This sort of thing. So it's nothing new under the sun that Solomon's saying is really true, especially in the movies. So that's one of the reasons why I force you to watch these kind of movies. But we don't watch TV shows together often.
No, not
Because
together.
we like different things. I try to ask you to watch different things and you didn't like it. But one of the big example that we do watch together, or sort of, because you watch ahead of me, is Cobra Kai. Right? I asked you to watch Cobra Kai last year when it was
Yeah.
season 1 and 2. But this is one of the things that both Ruben and I enjoy. Amy watches sometimes, about Cobra Kai. All is about what do they do?
Fight.
They just fight. But I have a feeling that we watch Cobra Kai for two different reasons. Now, I want to ask Ruben, why do you like Cobra Kai?
Because it's interesting to see characters evolve, and now that Daniel and Johnny are senseis, what did they learn since their other senseis? They're kind of apart now. And, Daniel without Mr. Miyagi has changed. He's a lot more decisive.
Yeah.
He's quick to decisions, but sometimes the decisions aren't always right, which makes him not always seem like the good guy.
Okay. So you want to see the character development of Daniel and Johnny. For those who haven't watched Cobra Kai, it's basically a continuation of the Karate Kid, the 80s movie. The reason why I watch Cobra Kai is because I love Karate Kid. It's like I watched that movie in a video of VHS so many times, the last scene. The reason why I started watching Cobra Kai is because the nostalgic feeling. It's like, oh man, Daniel LaRusso, now he's got a son, he got a daughter, and Johnny now becomes the loser. He's like, there's so many nostalgic element. And season 1 and season 2, they keep giving this, the old characters back.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, wow, this is the reason why I watch Cobra Kai. To look back. Well, with you, is to look forward. You want to see how Daniel...
I want to see how it plays out.
Yeah, how it
next
plays
year.
out. But for me, it's more on the, man, I remember this. And then all the little things, the wax on, wax off. It's so funny. They bring it to the new generation.
Yeah, I've seen so many parallels.
Yeah, so I think even that, we watch the same shows, but from two different reasons, with two different, probably the same outcome. We enjoyed the movie, we enjoyed the show, but coming from two different generations. I think that's the one of the good things of this era of entertainment. They're remaking Ghostbusters, they're remaking, what are they remaking? What are they not remaking? Jurassic
They brought back
Park.
Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Well, yeah, that's a big one. That's like, that's the Spider-Man that I grew up with.
If you haven't watched it, what are you doing?
Oh, spoiler, by the way, spoiler. Anyway, if you haven't watched it, what are you doing? They bring out the old Spider-Mans. That's the Spider-Man that I grew up with. And then they bring up the old new Spider-Man. Any other shows that
Matrix.
The Matrix. I haven't watched it. The reviews are so bad. I don't want to ruin my childhood. What else?
Dune. They just copied the book.
Yeah, I haven't watched it either. But yeah, it was a bit hard. But yeah, it's not really.
Disney tried to bring back Monsters Inc. with a new TV show. It wasn't very good. I feel like the characters were just annoying.
Yeah. Anyway, I think talking about movies in different generations. Any other movies that brings up that comes into your mind that impacted your life that worth mentioning?
Infinity War.
Infinity War.
That's the first real movie I understood everything.
Okay,
I was old enough to understand everything.
that's good. Amy, what about you? Let's talk about Encanto. You enjoyed Encanto.
Yeah.
What did you like about that?
There's lots of music.
Good music. Yeah, I agree. The music is good. well, while Ruben disagrees.
I would.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about that movie.
Yeah. Okay. We'll probably do some in-depth review in the future. So yeah, well, from my perspective, I just talked to Ruben yesterday, where we're talking about what was the movie that came out? Ghostbusters? No, not Ghostbusters.
What new movie came out? I don't know.
No, yesterday, like last night, and we're flicking the channel and said, "Oh, this is a great movie." What was that?
Oh, the Tick Tick Boom?
No, before that. Anyway, I just said, Ruben, I love 80s and 90s movies, and I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife yesterday with Mom. That's when I think a nostalgic
Oh yeah, it was
movie.
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Teenage Mutant
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles with all the costume is so funny. I love that.
Oh, that's just stupid.
It's so funny. You gotta watch it. Anyway, we watched Ghostbusters Afterlife
Yeah.
yesterday with Mom. You were at home, but I think that's the one of the few movies that's done right. You know, the previous Ghostbusters with all the girls. No,
That didn't feel right.
That's not it. This is it. I mean, if you haven't watched it, if you love Ghostbusters, you haven't watched it, watch that. That's worth watching. That's when nostalgia done right.
like in Spider-Man.
Yeah,
That's
in
nostalgia
Spider-Man.
done right.
Yeah,
They could have messed it up really easily.
Exactly. Yeah, so there's a lot of nostalgia in this era of movies. That's why I want you to watch the old ones.
I think I've watched
Yeah,
a lot.
Amy, you need to watch.
Amy hasn't even seen half of the Disney movies. I don't even think she's
you
seen
need to
them.
watch Star Wars at least. All right. Well, this has been a great conversation. So to close, what is your top 3 movies of all time? I know it's hard to answer. Amy, from Generation Alpha.
More Miraculous Ladybug and Miraculous New York Special.
Right.
How many are
And-
there? The multiverse, America's multiverse.
Uh-huh.
Apparently. Yeah, and
There's
then
more. And Little Lunch.
Little Lunch.
It's not really-
Okay, so
okay.
it's more on shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Ruben, what's your top 3?
Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3.
Really?
No. It's tough to put it down in top 3, especially in the top of my head, because there's some out there that
Yeah.
I probably should put in, but I just forgot.
Okay. What's on the top 3 on top of your head?
Toy Story 3, Infinity War. I don't know. What's a good movie? And this was number 3.
Endgame? No.
No, Endgame was not as good as Infinity War. It was a decent ending, but I feel like they could have done it better.
Okay. All right. What's your third?
I don't know. What is my third?
If you have only one movie to watch, what is it?
I seriously do not know.
That's tough. Okay, well that's a good list. My list is I'm gonna cheat because they're not movies; they're trilogies. But you can't just watch one movie.
Let me guess: Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, and I don't know what the last one is. Oh no, you're not a Harry Potter person.
No,
I don't know. What is the third one?
I don't know.
Exactly. It's tough. It's easy
Star
to get the
Wars-
first two.
Yeah, Star Wars and Lord of the Rings are just way up there. I don't really care about the third. But yeah, again, I'm cheating because they're not movies. They're trilogies. They're 3 sets of movies, which is a great movies to watch. I was gonna say something, but I forgot. But I hope this has been a great conversation. Looking at movies, how different arts depict in each generation. I think from the takeaway is, there's a lot of movies that impacted your life, and Amy is more like movies too long. I stick with YouTube, and shows is more manageable. I think it's because you're younger anyway. I remember Ruben couldn't stay in the cinemas when he was young. And for me, I go to movies mainly for the nostalgic reason, because that's what they keep pumping up. Old movies, reboots, sequels. So if they are done right, I'll enjoy it. If not, I'm gonna be pissed because my childhood is ruined. So
that's what happened to a lot of them.
That is correct. Well, okay. Well, this is a good light conversation. Hopefully, in the next episode we come up with different topics where we talk about in different generations. So that has been the Gen Talk podcast, where we talk about issues in this case 3 different generations. So hopefully you enjoy our conversation, and until next time, bye for now.